The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Weezer coming to the Allstate Arena with Brian and Kenzie and Q101.
The Q101 Morning Crew. Sports.
Well, let's get to it with, let's start off with Piece of Garbage Madness as March Madness paused. Of course, over the weekend, we have Illinois and Iowa State playing Thursday night. But Piece of Garbage Madness is a Brian and Kenzie exclusive where it's people and things that have been pieces of garbage in the past year. And you vote on all of our social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter on who advances, on who's worse. Now, there was a couple matchups yesterday. You had Alyssa Milano versus Tim Anderson from the White Sox.
A couple of heavyweights right there.
And some people do wonder. We've talked about some of these things like Alyssa Milano, how she started a GoFundMe so her kid could go to Cooperstown on a baseball trip.
And then you see her at the Super Bowl with her kid.
Yeah.
Those tickets are not cheap.
Yeah. And also, she probably has enough money to send her kid. Not that I'm counting other people's money, but she probably has enough money to send her kid. Maybe everybody in the whole neighborhood does. Anyway, that's how she advanced easily. Also, dangling earrings on men took on the Blackhawks. It's a 3-14 matchup.
And the dangling earrings on men, we had this conversation. We were trying to figure out what the modern day equivalent of like an Affliction t-shirt was.
Yes.
And that's sort of what we landed on. That and Bass Pro Shop hats.
That also dominated as a 3 seed. It crushed the Blackhawks and moved on. And then there was a 7-10 matchup. Chicago Kia boys, those guys on TikTok that put up a way to steal Kias and Hyundais. I was shocked. A lot of our listeners had their Kias stolen by these guys, or at least the information that was put out there.
A lot of Kias get stolen.
A lot of them did. Chicago was number 1, by the way, in the country with stolen Kias and Hyundais in this world that these guys started, or people started. And they beat Carhartt hipsters, people that wear Carhartt that aren't blue collar, which was a very funny thing to get mad at. And these were nominated by you guys. I like Carhartt gear. And my hands aren't dirty.
No, they are not. They're squeaky clean.
So there you go. There's Piece of Garbage Madness. We'll have another matchup here in a second, which will be a number 2 seed, Aaron Rodgers, versus a 15 seed, the Chicago Rat Hole. Now, you might wonder why that's in there. Well, because some people just got tired of talking about it and actually didn't like it, that it upset the people in the neighborhood, the Chicago Rat Hole. Usually pretty lovable. Most people love it. Case doesn't like it.
That's not true. It's not true.
You didn't like the Rat Hole.
I just feel bad for the neighbors that were there.
I feel bad for the rat.
Well,
that's a
Or
great
squirrel.
point.
Yeah.
No one's really thinking about the rat.
No, they're not.
I hate rats, so I'm fine with another one. Another one dying is fine.
Another one bites the dust.
We can't love everything. God, we can't save everything. Rats. I don't see the purpose of rats.
Is this the speech you give to your 1.5-year-old every morning? You can't love everything.
Listen, I gotta teach her right.
Process of elimination, Harper.
That's right. In sports, we continue with the Shohei Ohtani controversy, who I wanted to be on the Chicago Cubs, ends up on the Dodgers, $700 million deal. So the story was his interpreter, he's Japanese, doesn't speak any English. His interpreter stole $4 million from him to pay off gambling debts. And then the kind of connect the dots thing, we're saying maybe he's the gambling addict and he's using his interpreter as a scapegoat. Hey, you pay off these debts for me. Well, he cleared that up yesterday in a 12-minute press conference saying absolutely not the case. He's been stealing money from us and has told lies, according to Ohtani in the press conference. Of course, that was through another interpreter, so I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you trust an interpreter?
Exactly.
It's a really fascinating world where you don't know the language.
I've always thought that.
How do I don't trust anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you trust someone's going to say what you're saying?
Right.
I like those scandals that come out of the sign language interpreters who don't know sign language. They're just up there moving their arms.
Yeah.
I always laugh.
Lollapalooza has some of those. I think
Exactly.
they're more legit at Lala.
I hope so.
I hope so too, but I don't know unless you know the language. But anyway, he's vehemently speaking against it. Could be similar to the Jordan situation of gambling debts. And
Where
maybe
he's going to retire and play basketball for a year and a half.
That's exactly what he should do. Can you imagine seeing him?
Well, the Bulls?
I would sign him to the Bulls and fill the arena's already pretty full, but I mean, hey, I'd go see Ohtani play basketball.
Oh, my God, yes.
Yes, see?
Oh, my God, that'd be incredible.
Speaking of the Bulls, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory, losing to the Wizards, who are not good, 107-105. Debo cut the lead to 1 with less than 10 seconds left, but couldn't do it. He had 27. Kobe White dropped 22 with only about 10 games left in the season. It's getting tight. They are the play-in game situation, I believe, still at this point.
They're still in the play-in game because that is the top 10 seeds in the Eastern Conference, with seeds 7, 8, 9, and 10 being in the play-in. The Bulls, unless something absolutely catastrophic happens, like they lose their last 10 games, they'll be in that spot. But the good news is Atlanta's bad, and Philadelphia with Joel Embiid out, they're not very good. And so there's buffer there to where they can be very average, very middling, and still have a shot of making the actual playoffs.
Which is nice, and then they'll lose.
Oh, yeah.
Once they get in the
They have no
playoffs.
shot, but,
I got to tell you, I was riveted last night between two things. The Bachelor finale, which we'll talk about in a little while, maybe at 8 o'clock, because Case is all in on The Bachelor. I am not, but I like watching the finale of these shows sometimes, and I like to get my gauge of what happened compared to watching the whole series. I don't know how many of our listeners saw The Bachelor this season. We'll find out about it. I went between that and Caitlin Clark from Iowa, her last game at home, which I always thought was weird. I had to Google that on why they're playing at home in the NCAA tournament for the women's basketball tourney, but they do it by regions, and so that's her last home game now for her life. And I think she should go to the NBA. Forget about the WNBA, girl.
That would be awesome.
You need to go to the NBA.
That would be sweet.
She's insane. She's so good. She dropped 32 points and broke another record, passing Kelsey Plum's single-season scoring record besides the overall college record in points. I would pay to see Shohei Ohtani and Caitlin Clark. The Bulls should trade everything for Caitlin Clark. I will go watch it.
wow.
I will do that.
Well, she's going to be, assuming she does go to the WNBA, she's going to be the first pick in the draft, which goes to the Indiana Fever. So she'll only be a few-hour drive. We can go see Caitlin Clark all you want.
That drive sounds like a lot. That drive between here and Indianapolis, it's 3 hours, but it feels like 7.
Yeah.
It's a long drive.
I don't know. Everybody hates on driving through Indiana for some reason. It's fine.
Now, there is that place. What's that Farms place that makes their own ice cream and barbecue sauce?
Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. Circle back to that. I'm going to get the name for you.
It's past Purdue or before Purdue. I can't remember. You know what I'm talking about, Kara?
No, I usually don't drive that far through Indiana.
Well, you need to go because it's delicious.
It's Fair Oaks Farms.
Oh.
Fair Oaks Farms.
And yes, they've had some animal cruelty allegations, but I believe they've cleaned up their accents.
I don't want to hear from one texter who's going to bring that up. I want to just be happy today because it's delicious.
It's really good.
It's really good. They have their own, all kinds of sauces, jams, and ice cream.
Good customer service, good burgers, good fries.
We stopped there for an hour. With Harper was in the car. I had to change a diaper. And then I'm like, well, we're staying here for a bit. I'm going to get some ice cream. I want a sandwich. I want all this stuff.
That place is awesome.
Cubs opening day broadcast. We have that for home opener on Monday. Just a reminder, it's sponsored by our great friends at Twisted Tea. Brian and Kenzie. Kenzie will be there live, by the way.
Yes.
So she's on maternity leave, but she's coming in to Almost Home Tavern and Grill, 3801 North Clark, just north of the Metro and Wrigley Field. We're going to have tickets for the game, tickets for concerts coming up, just like the St. Patty's Day broadcast, really, really good stuff. And opening day Q101 swag that you can't see anywhere else. 6 to 10 a.m. live. Almost Home Tavern and Grill. Q101.com has all the info. And not to leave the White Sox out, more promo items came up. You're going Thursday?
I'm going Thursday to opening day.
Oh, nice. I want to go.
I've never gone to an opening day before. It's one of the few things on the sports bucket list.
Now, this is when you should
off.
bring your shawl. It might be a little chilly.
Kara, the weather is actually looking delightful, which
good.
I'm very pleased by. It's supposed to be in the mid-50s, I think.
That's cold for baseball, though.
You can suck it up.
No, the weather dropped. It's now only a high of 50. That sucks.
Wait, she said 50, and you said a low of 50 or around
It's supposed
50.
to be like 55. Now it's 50. Oh, God. It's going to be so cold.
5 degrees makes it that bad.
So you're not going?
No, I'm going to go, and I'm going to be miserable.
Well,
Go to the Stadium Club. It's inside, and you can get a huge ice cream sundae.
Okay, now you're
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah. You're going to be miserable either way, so you might as
Why,
well.
just because I'm alive? Just because it's my existence?
We're going to a White Sox game.
That's true.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And check in right now, 312-591-8300. Call in for your chance to get the Gaslight Anthem tickets. Veterans of Q101's Twisted Christmas just 3-4 months ago. Whenever that was. I've lost track of time. Maybe the solar eclipse coming is messing with my head. So that's going to be the Salt Shed Thursday, August 29. Tickets are on sale now from our great friends at Jam. But call now to compete against Kara in trivia today. 312-591-8300.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do that. In the meantime, enjoy this clip from an 8-year-old kid. Sounds like your grandpa talking about a tractor he's looking at.
What's the width on the mower deck?
I believe that's from 72 inches.
Ooh, that's nice stuff. I like this mower.
You like that mower?
I really like the one with the cab. That's probably
Oh, if I'm going to mow grass, I want to be comfortable. I want to be air conditioned.
I like all the stuff you got here. 8RX, sprayer. John Deere's a nice company. They've been in business since 1837.
Wow. I want him to go car shopping.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101. can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Flash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin. Q101.
And in for Kenzie is Kara Caribou. And on the line is the Gaslight Anthem tickets. That's what you're playing for at the Salt Shed. That's going to be an amazing show Thursday, August 29th from our great friends at Jam. Taylor checking in from Valpo to take on Kara. Taylor, tell us something really quick about yourself.
I'm Taylor from Valpo, and I've got 2 Great Danes that are 200 pounds each.
Ooh.
200 each?
Yep.
How much they eat?
Full-grown men-sized dogs.
Yes.
Grown-ass man dogs.
Probably easier to train.
So how much does it cost to feed that?
A lot.
Give me an estimate.
Probably $400 a month.
Woo!
Yeah.
But they're so
they
fun.
Eat raw food, so raw meat and all that. Yeah.
Really? So,
Yep.
And there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Jeez.
There's 2 of them.
Is there anybody else in the house?
Yes, 2 teenagers.
This sounds like a hard life, Taylor. Do you ever try to ride the Great Dane?
The kids do sometimes, but it is a hard life. That's why I need Gaslight Anthem tickets.
Yeah,
All
she needs to
right.
get out.
That's very fair. Nice plug. All right. They're probably fun to lay with, though, right? Those big dogs?
Yes, very warm and snuggly.
Oh, they're not lap dogs. That'd be.
All right. First one to 5 wins. Listen carefully, Taylor. If Kara gets one wrong, you can get a point. If she can do the same to you, call heads or tails, Taylor.
Tails.
It's heads. Kara wins. Kara, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Kara, what is the only U.S. state with only 1 syllable?
Oh, jeez. Maine.
Maine's right.
Oh.
Good job. Just
was
before the
hard.
buzzer. Taylor, what disgraced rapper allegedly fled the country following raids on his L.A. and Miami homes in the last 24 hours?
P. Diddy.
P. Diddy's right. We'll talk about that more in a second. It's wild story.
I'm so locked in on this story now. I'm fascinated by it.
It's ridiculous. Let's see here.
Back to
Kara. What is the branch of medicine that deals with the care of infants and children?
That's pediatrics.
That's what it is. Back to Taylor. Wayfarer sunglasses are produced by what eyeglass company?
Ooh.
3.
Ray-Ban?
Ray-Ban's right.
Ooh, good one.
I was hoping you were going to say Oakley for some reason. God, I miss wearing Oakleys. I loved Oakley. I got a free pair once because they're so expensive they were, and I wore them like years. They were scratched up, but I look good in Oakleys.
You can still wear them. Just go down to your local Thornton's gas station. I'm sure they've got a whole rack of Oakleys down there.
Are Oakleys not expensive anymore?
No, I mean there's different kinds, but you can get Oakleys for cheap too.
Are they knockoff Oakleys? Like they Bokleys?
Yeah, they're Boakleys, Brian. I'm trying to sell you Boakleys.
I don't care. They look good. Oh, man.
Oakley.
I'm going to be an Oakley guy again. This summer, Oakleys and tank tops.
That's a good look.
What are you in the X Games?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to board to work, get on my longboard, and I'm going to come right in.
You and Travis Pastrana riding your dirt bikes to work? Oh my God.
That's what I want everybody to do. If we all do it together, it'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be normal that way.
Oakleys and tank tops. You and Kara?
Sure.
Doesn't sound like it.
I would assume a lot of our listeners never evolved from Oakleys and tank tops. I think that's probably the norm in Tinley Park.
And I'm fine with it. I'm all in. I'll move to Tinley Park then. I'll hang out with my people down there.
There you go. 2-2 back to Kara.
Kara, what sport uses a pigskin?
That's football.
That is football. Taylor, who was the mayor of Chicago from 1955 to 1976?
Daley?
I'm going to give you this one. It'd be the dad, Richard J. Daley. Yeah, Richard J. Daley, the dad. Family ran the city for 100 years.
Yeah.
Close to it anyway. Let's see here. Back to Kara.
Kara, it's 3-3.
Kara, in retail, what does the abbreviation POS stand for?
I'm glad you put it in context.
Yes, in retail, POS.
Price of subject?
No, that's not it. Taylor, do you know?
Point of sale?
Point of
There
sale.
you go.
Where'd you work, Taylor? Tell us.
I work for Family Express, a convenience store in Valparaiso.
Oh, you work there now. I thought maybe you were going to say you worked at the Gap or something like that at some point in your life. Because point of sale,
My
that's
boss would have been very upset if I missed that one.
Yeah.
all right. And let's see here.
It is 4-3. It is back to Taylor. She can win Gaslight Anthem tickets with the correct answer.
Taylor, what infamous TV show is the saying, jump the shark, based on?
based on?
Yes. What TV show?
God.
Guess an old TV show. 3, 2, 1.
Happy Days?
Oh, it's Happy Days!
Nice job.
If you don't remember that, it's because the Fonz
Yes.
jumped a shark in skis on a boat. And
Right.
that's the moment when they said the show took a turn
Yeah.
and was not good anymore.
Like, it didn't happen when he was using a motorcycle. Didn't he do it with a motorcycle and jump over some trucks, too?
He did that one, too. I think that was with, I don't remember exactly.
I don't either. Maybe I'm thinking Evil Knievel.
Yeah. But the shark moment, when you hear jump the shark and people say, oh, that trend is over, that's why they say that, because of
Yeah.
Happy Days. And that means you're going to the Gaslight Anthem at the Salt Shed.
Woo!
Now,
Thank you so much.
You got an extra ticket, so which dog you bringing? We didn't get their names. What are their names?
Rip and Ramsey.
Oh, bring Ramsey.
Yeah, Ramsey's the cool one.
Yes.
Clash with Kenzie. The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Well, don't worry. In less than an hour, if you like free stuff, Stone Temple Pilots and live tickets coming up at about 8:20. And we will talk about that stuff with P. Diddy if you're not up to date on it. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101 right after Lincoln Park.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. As we said, 8:20. We'll have some STP live tickets coming up for you in a song scramble. People love playing that game, so we'll do that for you. And boy, what a wild scene yesterday. We just mentioned that question in trivia about P. Diddy, who had his homes raided yesterday. And I think it was yesterday. It was the last 48 hours this whole thing came down, but they showed federal agents going into his homes in Miami, New York, and L.A. All went in there. I mean, they went in there with tactical gear and machine guns.
Wow.
Yeah, they went full in like it was attacking a terrorist situation there, and maybe that's what it'll end up being. But no official word on what happened, but they took people out in cuffs.
Ooh.
And it was all based on a sexual misconduct allegations against him. It started a little while back with an artist named Cassie, who sued in federal court back in November, accusing him of rape, decade-long pattern of abuse that began when she was 19 years old. This is close to 20 years ago this stuff happened. And she's an R&B singer. She was signed to his label, to Bad Boy Records, alleges sex trafficking, human trafficking, sexual battery, sexual assault, all kinds of sickening things that he was accused of. He settled with her out of court, but without admission of any kind of guilt. So got some money and paid off the situation to make it go away. But apparently it didn't go away because this may have opened up the door for other people to come forward and say, hey, that happened to me. And I don't want it just to go away with some money in this situation. Maybe I want to go further. Or when the feds get involved, I mean, it's not like a civil suit.
Right.
You're not looking for money anymore at that point. It's something that you go to jail for.
Yep.
At the same time, Diddy's plane was charted taking off. Maybe they used the FlightAware app like I do. Somebody tracked it and saw it going to the Caribbean.
So explain that to me, because that's the part that I got confused about yesterday. Was everybody, I think at this point, knows Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles were raided.
Yes.
But I saw this come across my Twitter timeline yesterday, and I wasn't sure if it was real or not.
Yeah.
The fact that Diddy allegedly fled the country. Do we have any more info on that?
There's no more info if he was on the plane, but the plane took off.
And TMZ claims that they have footage of him
Yeah.
at the Miami airport
Exactly.
pacing around.
Looking nervous.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Like-
would look nervous if I were him, too.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, and just, is he going to get on the plane? Is he thinking maybe he was on a last-minute phone call? I've got this plane ready to go. You guys give me the green light. I'm getting on this plane. I'm getting the hell out of here. And there's no confirmed report whether he actually was on the plane and left. But I don't know if anybody's seen him in America since then. Like, I don't know if they've seen him on the ground in Miami since then.
No, just the TMZ footage of him, seemingly getting out of a car at the Miami airport and then, like Kara said, nervously pacing around.
Yeah.
That's the last time it seems like we've had any eyes on him. But people have claimed that his flight is up in the air and possibly headed towards and maybe in the Cayman Islands now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got tipped off or maybe one home got raided and he's not obviously in all three at the same time.
But
So
what's
like,
the
I'm
point
outta
of leaving if everybody knows where you're going?
Well, but if he goes to the Cayman Islands, he's safe there, right?
Really?
Well, you can be extradited if in certain situations, but also some countries don't want to get involved.
Right.
So, or some islands or whatever.
Kara, this is
Governments.
the plot of the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop, where the people that robbed the mall that Paul Blart was the mall cop at, the whole heist, the getaway, was that they were going to go to the Cayman Islands where the U.S. government and the U.S. Forces could not retrieve them from said island.
So apparently Sean Combs is a fan of that movie.
I'm sure he loves Paul Blart. I mean, who didn't? One of Kevin James's best works.
Side note, Case has just watched Shawshank Redemption, Braveheart, and Back to the Future for the first time, but he's quoting Paul Blart Mall Cop like it came out yesterday.
I'd like to point out I've seen 2 movies in theaters more than once. One is Star Wars Episode 3, the other Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Oh, my goodness.
I love that movie.
Wow.
Star Wars Episode 3 and Paul Blart were the 2 movies you've seen in the theater twice?
Yes, I've seen them in theaters twice.
Have you seen a movie in the theater twice, Kara?
I don't know that I have, actually.
So I saw Wayne's World in the theaters twice.
That's awesome.
I saw Fight Club.
Haven't seen it.
In the theaters twice. And I saw Meet the Parents in the twice.
Why did you see Meet the Parents twice? I love that movie.
Because it was so good. I had to go back. I couldn't wait. It was so good. Those are the 3 movies I've seen in the theater
really
twice.
Funny list.
That's it. Fight Club, Meet the Parents, and Wayne's World. That's it. Well, we'll keep you updated on this story because this is going to get really ugly. When it gets to this point, as the lawyers for Cassie said, well, good. Because maybe when the federal government gets involved in the situation, there's obviously something pretty legitimate going on in raiding homes.
I think you have to look at the Diddy situation, and I don't say this lightly by any means, but the allegations that are levied against him are very similar to 1, Epstein, or 2, what Vince McMahon is currently going through right now. And these are, again, it's sex trafficking, it's underage women in the case of Diddy specifically. It's not good news.
This has an R. Kelly vibe to it.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, same deal. So we'll keep you updated on this story from P. Diddy.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.